Hello and welcome. I am No Coffee, No Life, and today we are in the sunny forest building near this billboard, which is right at the Tyler County Fairgrounds. The lovely fairgrounds. Who doesn't want to be near this? It's in the middle of it all. Anyways, let's get to building, shall we? Just like Wavy Willards, it's tricky to place your camp module here, so place it right about where I have it, near these three rocks. In order to set up the foundation for a stilt house, I'm going to set these two foundations here, to the right of the first support beam for the billboard, then place foundations and space them. So the first will go down, then the second, and then I'll remove the first and place it where the third one will be, and then put down a fourth, then remove the third once the fourth has been placed, so that we're ready to place the stilts. Now I got this idea because I was staring at the in-game assets and how we have these structures that are kind of perched on stilts, and you see them everywhere in the wasteland, but we don't have access to that. So I'm making my own stilt house because I want to. And I want its stilts to mirror the open space underneath this billboard, so it's a little less noticeable from the front if you're staring at the billboard from the fairgrounds or when you're coming up the road. I don't want this giant block. So now we're going to burn the lower half of the walls. And once I'm done burning these smaller parts, I'm going to flip the upper walls to a full wall, and then we're going to burn those as well so that we can get our stilts for the house. We're going to burn these full walls really quick, and you can see the end result really does look like stilts, like support beams. Sure, they look a little rickety, but they will hold and they will never need repair. We're going to place our stairs, and then we're going to put our second floor, which is basically our first floor. And look, it's perfect, perfectly supported. So to place the second row, you're gonna have to do a little bit of a zigzag with the floor pieces so that you can get up close enough and place all the wall pieces where they need to be and get that second row. It takes a little bit of adjustment and patience, but eventually you'll get it and it will look great in the end, like all good things. And here it is. Doesn't it look great? Now we'll quickly finish setting up our upper floor so that it's complete, and add the last two pieces, which are porch sections. Yeah, there it is. Let's get the walls up now. I'm just placing plain wooden walls so that we can get the outer shell set up. Once all the walls are up, you can further customize the build to your liking. This goes for the roofs as well. These first two are going to be similar in the end. These flat roofs are just going to act as placeholders for now. We'll change this to a door, and here is the building so far. This is its general shape. Now we can go in and customize with fire, of course. So we're going to sculpt the outside with fire. I'm taking out the left side of the building and the side facing the billboard. The side I'm burning now is going to stay broken throughout the entire build. This left side, only one of those walls is going to be restored eventually. We're also going to put this divider down the center to separate both sides. We're going to carry the wraparound porch to this side. I've already done the first part. I'm going to show you the second and third sections. You just snap a catwalk on, drop a wood wall, and once it's clipped down, you'll go to the next one, do the same thing over again, take the catwalk away, and burn these walls so that you'll have those poles as support structures underneath your porch. These wood walls, you could use them for the stilts as well. They won't have some of the cross beams like the log cabin walls, but they will still function as poles underneath your building if this is the wall type you prefer to use, because you have it, everybody has it. Now we're going to place these half floors down for our wraparound porch, and there it is. There's the porch. Just as soon as we put this corner on. Now that that's out of the way, we're going to break up this side of the wall by placing a junk wall on the side so that it breaks up the exterior further. To the right, I'm going to have a full wall with a door, and to the left, I'm going to have two half walls. But first, I have to break this junk wall so that I can put everything else in. We're gonna put the half wall here and then decide to flip it outward because it didn't flip out in the first place. Then address a few other things on this side of the house, like the missing roof piece and railings. We'll restore the junk fence, this wall, finish our railing, and get this junk wall in place. Now onto the roof. I've been thinking since the last video about what I said, that we can't necessarily replicate the roofs that we see at train stations with those gables. And I'm gonna walk that back a little bit because we don't have the assets, that's true, to make the exact same roof, but we can get the same exact look. You just have to put two roofs together. You're gonna take these little roofs that have the peaks, trash them, place the top wall arches on the ends, then place an angled roof piece, whichever you like, on top of it, and you will have your gabled roof that perfectly mimics those railroad station roofs, or at least as close as we can get them to. Now, as a reminder, this is what we have so far. We're going to go back to finishing up the roof here in a second. Now we're going to finish putting the roof pieces we do want for the tops of our roofs that have those little gables, and then once that's done, we're going to burn them so that we can place the angled roofs and any wall arches that we still need to place. So this is what the roof looks like right now. We're going to put two angled roofs, and we will put another two angled wall arches. We're going to be putting them to close off the other end that's in the center. It's why I just put up that wall. But to do that, I have to destroy a few things first. Namely this junk wall, and I have to place an additional wall right here so that I can put in the arches. There's the first, and we're going to put in the second. And it's closed off. Now we can take a look at what we have so far. Right now, the roof is ready to be repaired. Everything is where it belongs. I don't have to make any other adjustments. It's complete. And after we finish repairing these final bits of roof, we will have our completed gabled roof. And it looks awesome. It turned out really nice. Here's the building in its current state. Originally, I had a different idea as to how I was going to close off this side of the wraparound porch. It didn't work out, so I went with something far simpler. Because sometimes a little simple detail is better than spending hours and hours trying to force something that's just not going to work in your camp. And here it is, the beautiful Stilt house, complete, tucked in behind its billboard, and ready for visitors. It turned out really nice. I'm pleasantly surprised. I really thought that it was going to fight me all the way, but aside from our balcony incident, this was pretty straightforward. So let's go take a look inside now. I've closed off the front entrance with another one of these gates. It's not really necessary because there aren't a lot of mobs here. I think I encountered 2 super mutants the entire time that actually came up to the house, and that's pretty tame. Normally I usually see a bunch of mobs. Here's the little shop tucked underneath the house. I've decorated it a little bit, but it's not a ton, just enough. And over here I have my shelter. Now the texture on the ground is actually on the shelter, so it conceals it even further, which is great. It looks like it's been there forever, which is the idea. I've run power to the shop along the underside of the house so that I don't have wires on the exterior. Now we're gonna go back to the space underneath the stair where I have 2 workbenches, the scrap box and the stash box. It's all cluttered up, ready for use. We're gonna go up to the house proper, up these stairs, which is nice. Got our seats outside the front door, a window, and a windowed door so we can look in before we get in. This is our living area, the first part that's open to the billboard and gives a view of the fairground. You can see it's just simple. It's pretty clean. I have my candy bowl because it's getting closer. It's getting closer to Halloween. And here's the kitchen area. And it's all decorated. I have kitchen implements, a hatchet and a knife. We've got our seating area and some cluttered shelves and the Thanksgiving shelves, which is always really nice because it's a great way to display junk that we still can't display on shelves like we want to. But anyways, here's the room, all complete. I've put 2 half walls. You saw one earlier, the wood wall. Got a bunch of stuff underneath, some cats conspiring to do something with a duck. Let us continue back to the other side of the house. There's some stuff on the shelf. You know, I've managed to stick a lot of things in here for a very small space, which makes it all the more lived in. We're back in the living room again. You can see my goblin head hanging out there on the wall. And another work area with a broadsider above our Tinker's workbench, some more seating and plants, and a view of the back end of that billboard. It's pretty peaceful looking, actually. We're gonna circle around to take in this wraparound porch and the stuff I've decorated it with. And yeah, that is the camp in its entirety. It's pretty compact, pretty cluttered, lived in, and certainly blends in with its environment. It's just super immersive in a true Wastelander home. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I enjoyed making this build. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope you learned something from it. I also wanted to say, hooray, we're over 100 subscribers. Thanks, everybody. And on that note, if you like what you see here, click on that like button and consider subscribing. But until next time, happy building in the wasteland.